Now, in October last year, businesswoman and campaigner Gina Miller appeared on this show and opened up about the hideous threats and abuse she'd received online.
How bad have the threats against you been?
As bad as they could probably get, in that they're anywhere from, rape threats to death threats and hitmen and people going to jail. Panic alarm system. We had to have a new system put in the house. And having to take a 12 and a 14-year-old through that system of what you phone, what you do, if mummy's out, whatever, that is terrifying for them.
Well, in a controversial move, she has now met with one of her online trolls to talk about what happened, and he realised the error of his ways. Which is an interesting move. And I know we talk about it all the time, Stacey, don't we, in terms of our children. If our children are being bullied in any shape or form or at school, how do you protect them? But what about us as grown-ups now? Because the modern day grown-up bullying is online.
Yeah, I think that it's each to their own with however you're going to deal with it. I personally, a lot of the time, think that most people who are nasty because they've got some serious issues of their own, and actually they also crave your attention and they want a reaction, and they want to know that whatever they've said has got through to you. So to actually go out and meet them, for me personally, I feel like I'd be fueling them in some way, if that makes sense. So I'm luckily, fortunately, don't have that kind of trolling where I'm being threatened or my family's being threatened. Otherwise, I wouldn't be so light-hearted about it. I'd sort of get more of my appearance, what I look like, my voice, and that sort of trolling. And I find it funny. Like, most of the time. There's times when it gets to you, but most of the time I find it really funny. And the only way that I know how to deal with it is to address trolls as like a group of people. So ages ago was just like, all right, Susan, have a day off, and it stuck. So now every time someone moans at me or says something to me or calls me ugly, I just go, all right, Suze, is this not good enough for you? And I just make a joke of it, because essentially you've got to live your life and you can only do what you can do. And if someone's got a problem with them, it speaks volumes about them and not very much about you, I believe. So I think that the way that I deal with it is just to have a laugh with it, have a joke with it, and you know, just say have a day off.
I think if you meet a troll, you're sort of almost validating their existence. If I was getting death threats, like I was on that show with Gina, and you know, death threats, rape threats, anything like that, I'd report it, because that is really, really serious. But, you know, name calling, which we all get, I just ignore them. I mean, it's just a waste of space, really. I just don't engage at all.
Yeah, I think maybe from a lot of, as you say, a lot of people that want to sit down at a computer or their phone and write something negative about someone they've never met says a great deal about them, and a lot of it could be just attention-seeking in a bizarre way too, couldn't it?
Or even because they don't agree with something you've said, that's absolutely fine to disagree. And you get a lot of people who go, well, I don't agree with what you said because A, B, C. I'll totally engage with that. You know, if we have a measured, rational debate. But if they're just name calling, what's the point?
Janet, what do you think about it? Because you're quite vocal on Twitter and you know, online as well. How do you respond to people who have a very outspoken opinion? Let's put it that way.
Well, when I write columns for the Mail Online or the Independent, people really react strongly, and they start by insulting your appearance, whereas what they're really doing is they don't agree with your opinion, but rather than set out a reason why they don't agree with your opinion, they start on what you look like, my teeth, my voice. They go through all the things that Stacey has said. Now, most of the abuse that I get is from the far right, from Brexiteers. They fall into one kind of category. And I'm afraid what I do is I mute them. I don't block them, because when you block them on Twitter, they know, and then they just start another account.
When they say something about your appearance, does it upset you?
Not really. I'm like Stacey. I always feel superior. And it was interesting because I watched that film with Gina Miller and Alan, who is the person who made her life such a misery. And the minute he met her, he realised she was a real person and they had quite a lot in common. But Alan, when he was asked, do you realise how hurtful what you wrote was? He said, oh, well, I just lost my temper. And of course, a lot of rubbish that is put on social media, especially after 10 o'clock at night, is people just so angry about everything else in their lives, and you're just a handy vehicle to dump it on. And actually, I'm lucky in that I feel pretty secure about my appearance. I feel pretty okay about my intelligence, and so it doesn't really get through to me. But I do wonder what this lockdown is doing to people like Alan and people who are angry, who make a disproportionate, who have a disproportionate reaction to, you know, a normal opinion or what someone looks like.
Who probably don't feel that they're listened to in other areas of their life. So
exactly.
I feel that if you engage with them, you're kind of fanning the flames, you know, of you're giving oxygen to what they're doing.
Yeah, I think maybe kill them with kindness. Sometimes if I get a lot of messages saying, God, your teeth are awful, I hate your smile, I smile even more.
No, but
I think, oh, well, here you go.